So my name is Tasha Penwell, and I'm going to be teaching some of the job search techniques. This is going to be a series of job search techniques videos, just best practices and tips and hints and resources that I've personally used or have learned about along the way. So this one video is going to be particularly about updating your resume and the importance of that. So how often should you update your resume? You should update your resume fairly frequently. When you take a new class, when you learn a new skill, when you have a new responsibility. Your resume should be considered a living and breathing document. It's something that you want to make sure that you're always having current. And if you complete a new class, make sure you put that class in your resume. And if you just signed up for a new class and you haven't completed it yet, you can also put that class in your resume as well, with an expected end date of the month and the year. You don't always have to wait until the end of something to go ahead and put it in your resume. When you learn a new skill, whether through traditional classroom setting or non-traditional, an apprenticeship, a hobby, anything of that nature, you can include that in your resume as well. When you have a new responsibility in your job, sometimes we kind of forget the responsibilities that we have in our jobs if it's been like weeks or months or even years since we took on that new responsibility. We become blind to it, so to speak, so that we don't see the value. Sometimes we don't receive the value of what our responsibilities are for our jobs because we've just become so used to it. It's nothing new. The newness is gone. So those are the times that you want to update your resume. You don't want to wait till the end, like whenever the end of a job or whenever you are applying for a new job. You don't want to wait until those times to update your resume. You want to do it more frequently than that, such as a new class, new skill, or new responsibility. So why should you update your resume regularly? Because you want to be ready for the next new opportunity. Sometimes you'll see a position or an opening, and um, it might have a short time frame to apply for it, and you want to make sure that you have your resume prepped and updated, and everything is good, and be able to submit it. It shows that you're organized whenever you are on top of your game and submitting it, as opposed to waiting to the last minute. And it's going to be easier to find typos. We are all guilty of having typos, whether it be grammar typos or spelling typos in our resume, just because it's just human nature. Our spell check won't always capture everything because it may not be a typo of a misspelling, but it's not the correct use of the word. So we want to be able to capture those typos before we send our resume. And whenever we're writing our resume for the first time, or even the second and third and fourth, we don't always see the typos. We can do a review, we can do a check, but those typos, there's always still going to be typos that we just miss. So whenever you're checking or updating your resume on a regular basis, this is also a good time to review your resume from top to bottom, from the beginning to the end, and see if there's any typos now that you're reading it again, after some time has gone from the last time you read it. Check for those typos. It's easier to find those typos whenever you check it at intervals, and whenever you're able to submit a resume for a position, then it's going to look that much better on you. It's a motivation to learn. So I mentioned about how you can update your resume with a new skill or a new class. And if you're not currently taking a class, or if you're not currently working on a new skill, and your resume is a little light, there's not that much content on it, let that be the motivation for you to take that class or learn that new skill. Find one that's related to the field that you're wanting to go into, and hone in on that, and find classes or build skill sets in that particular field. So that's going to like I said, be motivation for you to learn a new class or take that new class and learn that new skill just so you can build up your resume. Um, when we become blind, so it's this kind of goes back to the typos and the responsibilities. Whenever we are so ingrained in something, like we are so involved in it, we become blind to it on some of the aspects of it. And blind can be in typos. When we're typing up our resume, we become blind to the errors, whether it be grammar or spelling or anything else, because we're the ones typing it up and we're so invested in it that we just become blind to it. So that's why that's right. It's easier for us to capture other people's typos than our own, because we're seeing something new that somebody else typed up from the first time. So, whenever either that, for typos, or also when it comes to responsibilities, we become blind to the value that we're providing to our organization for the work we do with the responsibilities that we have, because we just become so accustomed to it that it's nothing. The new and shiny factor is gone, but so we don't always see the value of it. But whenever we are updating our resume regularly, we make sure we are capturing the value for the full extent that it is. It's useful for our performance review, and it creates a picture of your career path. So if you're doing your annual performance review, you want to show what you've accomplished during this previous year. You want to be able to showcase any kind of skill sets, any kind of classes, any kind of additional responsibility that you've taken under. And you want to be able to highlight those for your performance review. It could help you with a raise, it could help you with a promotion. It's going to show your supervisor that you are motivated and you're wanting to learn and you're willing to learn, and you're willing to break out of your comfort zone and grow in the organization. And this, in turn, can help you with your career path. You can explain to your supervisor what your career goals are, what your aspirations, and the path that you're wanting to take. And you showing that this past year that you've updated your resume, showing the skills and the classes and et cetera that you've taken on, and that you have the initiative that for the career path that you're talking about. You put the work behind the talk. Basically means you talk the talk and you're also walking the walk. You're wanting to go this career path, and you are actually taking the efforts to go to that career path. So who can help me update my resume? There's online resources such as Top Resume. There are paid and free resources available online. You just have to do a little research on it. But there's professional resume writers. There's an organization called the National Resume Writers Association. It has writers on hand, again, paid. There may be some unpaid, but I know there's paid writers out there that'll help you with your resume. You can ask friends and family, especially if they're in a field that you're wanting to go into. Let them look at your resume. And even if they're not in the field you're wanting to go into, they can help with capture those typos that I mentioned earlier, grammar and spelling, and anything else. And they may even ask you questions to elaborate on what this meant, or they just having that conversation back and forth can bring out some responsibilities or some awards or accomplishments that you've had, and because just having that talking back and forth could help bring that out and make you remember, and therefore put on your resume. Take a class online. So Coursera offers classes online on how to update and build your resume, and so take advantage of those kinds of opportunities that are out there. And then whenever you finish it, put it on your resume that you completed this course. Job and Family Services. Every county has one. They have resources out there to help with your resume writing. They also have employment counselors to help, and then they have mock interviewing and application processes to also help with their clients as they are working to prepare for their next job. Sometimes they also utilize resources outside of the organization to come in and, talk with the clients, whether it be for job search techniques or resume writing, anything of that nature. They have a lot of resources out there for you. I know every time I go and visit them, I'm always kind of surprised on the resources that they have because I didn't know they had it. So don't underestimate what the Job and Family Services have because there's a lot of good resources with them and that they're out there to help. So let's see. So if you have any questions, you can find me on LinkedIn or on Twitter. And I think that's it. So I will everybody have a wonderful day. Thank you.